Hey everyone, and welcome back to my late life lesbian journey. For those of you who are new here, I discuss and share sort of my journey and process of going from being married to a man, getting divorced, and coming out as a lesbian. So in this video, I wanted to share sort of the advice I have for coming out. I've had a lot of you reach out and just ask, how I knew when I was ready and if I do have any advice for coming out. And so I thought I would just share a little bit of that here. Actually, one of the very first girls that I ever talked to when I was in the midst of kind of going through all of this, like just on the tail end of it before I had really come out to like my family and stuff, she had actually been in a similar situation that I had. She had been married to a man and got divorced and came out as being a lesbian. So she kind of understood where I was. And she ended up telling me and giving me the advice that everybody, like especially my family, like my parents and stuff, were going to go through their own process when I came out to them. And not to really take it personal, just sort of be ready for it. And yeah, like that honestly was some of the best advice that I got, because as soon as I came out to my mom, I definitely saw her go through this process. She just needed to process and digest it on her own, in her own way. And I kept that in the back of my mind, and I just knew, and I remember kind of that advice that the other woman had given me, and I just thought, okay, like just remember she's going to need to go through her own process. And she did. So, she did, ask me questions and tried to rationalize in her own way. And I just reminded myself, like, this is her going through her own process of it, and to just give her that understanding. And I did. And really ultimately, like, we ended up in a good place with all of it. And I think, thankfully for me and my situation, most everyone met it pretty just openly, lovingly, accepting. The other thing too is that even after I told my mom offered to tell the rest of my family. And I honestly let her. I know some people may feel like it's their own thing and they need to do it themselves in their own time, in their own way. But for my mom, I actually kind of thought like maybe this was even part of her process, like her going and sharing. And my mom is even a very protective mom. It's kind of how I would be. I think she still had the desire and urge to sort of keep me safe and not make me go through all of that to everyone. I knew it was my own thing. I knew that it was about me, and I was more than ready and willing to tell everybody, tell my whole family, but she offered, and so I went ahead and let her. So for me, even too, like, that would be another piece of advice. Like, if you have a parent or a loved one who wants help, unless it's something you feel super strongly about, like, maybe that's even part of their process too, and it could potentially even be helpful. So I am kind of thankful for that too, because then I feel like I didn't have to come out over and over and over again to everybody. So I don't know, like that might be something that's helpful and, and good for you too. But the biggest thing was really just accepting and understanding that everyone's going to process in their own way. Some will just be like, oh, okay, great, awesome, that's great, no big deal. Some are going to take a little bit of time, and yeah, so that is probably the biggest piece of advice that I would give. That was the most helpful to me. So hopefully that ends up being helpful to you. And yeah, so if that was of any interest to you, any help at all, you want to continue to watch and follow my journey, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to connect even more, you can reach out and connect with me on Instagram at ecbettis. So thank you all so much for watching.